C'était juste avant ou juste après que je suis allé à Vegas? Juste avant, je pense. Juste avant. Alors, il y a 2 semaines maintenant, je pense. Okay. So, Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom, nice to see you. I see there's a whole announcement about you today.
Oh yes, well. all month.
Right. There's Asian month, there's Caribbean month, whatever, Black History Month, and then there's a U month.
There's a U month, absolutely, of course. Why would there not be? How are you?
I'm okay, thanks. He lied. Everything's good.
Oh.
Everything's good on the personal front. Everything's great, and a young, I have a young woman growing in before my eyes here.
Yes,
Yeah.
Indeed. They do that. They do that.
Demain matin. Non, demain. Non, demain. Shabbat Shalom, Aaron.
Shabbat Shalom.
Okay. Right.
So we're back to candle lighting.
Yes.
The time changed.
Yes.
Where do we usually do that again?
At the beginning, I would say.
After Shalom Aleichem?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
It's up to us. We can also do Kiddush Matov and then that, and then Shalom. But I think Shalom kind of announces it. But either way, it's up to you.
I don't know. Do you have a preference?
What is a larger crowd? I think I would start with Kiddush Matov here. I don't need to shush anybody down. We can do Shalom and then that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Sounds good to me.
Okay.
It sounds good to me.
I was preparing the supplement Passover because I'm doing a
Right, second night. Second night, yes.
I have Kensu Piese and Tibiese, Kensu Piese and Tibiese. And I have it in Judeo-Arabic too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Habibullah Eliyahu.
Oh, it's
so
great.
then-
I love that.
Yeah, so there'll be some differences. I'm not doing cabrito or anything like that, just
You're not doing...
is it un cabrito?
Un cabritico.
Cabritico, okay, sorry.
I'll find it in my heart to forgive you.
Okay. Perfect. So,
I think we should just go right into Shalom Aleichem. This sounds good.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShavet, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem Leshalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Kadosh Baruch Hu, Barchuni Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzedchem Leshalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
This Shabbat is one that highlights a particular facet of the day. In Kiddush, for example, we talk about Shabbat being Zecher L'Tziat Mitzrayim, a remembrance of the Exodus from Egypt. And of course, this is also the Shabbat right before Pesach, the holiday which is all about Yetziat Mitzrayim, the Exodus from Egypt. And so this Shabbat, we kind of have a saturation of thinking about this great story of ours, what it means, right, for us to have become a people in that way, what it means for us to think about freedom then and now. And so we can take all of that great thinking around the dimension of Shabbat that is about the Exodus and the fact that we're about to celebrate it. And let that kind of also not just fill the time, but fill the air that we breathe, right? We breathe in, we take on the extra soul for Shabbat, the Neshama Yetera. And so, if you will, with me, just take a nice deep breath. And with that, we will light Shabbat candles. Shalom, and we sing together now L'chuna Ranana on page 11.
Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Naria, naria letzuri shenu, לקדמה פניו ותודה. נריה, נריה לצור אישנו, בזמירו נריה לו. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. לכו, 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 לכו נרננה, לכו, 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 לכו נרננה, כי אל גדול לאדוני, ומלך גדול על כל אלוהים, אשר בידו מחקרי ארץ, ותועפות ההרים לו. לכו, 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 לכו נרננה, לכו, 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 לכו נרננה, אשר לא היה והוא עשהו, ויבשת ידיו יצרו, בואו נשתחווה ונכרעה, נברכה לפני אדוני עושנו. לכו, 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 לכו נרננה, לכו, 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 לכו נרננה, כי הוא אלוהינו, ואנחנו אמר איתו, וצור ידו, היומים בקולו תשמעו. לכו, 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 לכו נרננה, לכו, 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 נרננה, אל תקשו לבבכם כי מריבה, כיום מסע במדבר, אשר ניסוני אבותיכם, בחנוני גם ראו פועלי. לכו, 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 לכו נרננה, לכו, 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 לכו נרננה. ארבעים שנה כל בדור, אמרם תוהלם לבם, והם לא ידעו דרכי, אשר נשבעתי באפי, ועוד אנוכתי.
We turn now to page 21, where we will sing together Mizmor LeDavid. And if we look in the translation, we see that it is an expression of the impact or the experience of God's voice when the Torah was revealed at Mount Sinai. And we read things like the voice of Adonai with all its power, the voice of Adonai with all its majesty, the voice of Adonai shatters the cedars, Adonai shatters the cedars of Lebanon, making trees dance. And we read all of this natural imagery. In the mystical tradition, everything that happened out in the world also had a reflection internally within each of us. And we get some insight into that in this comment in the margins. And so I invite us to read this together on the left-hand side in the margins, starting with the voice of God opens. If we can read together, please. The voice of God opens the gates of compassion and love. The voice of God opens the gates of courage. The voice of God opens the gates of shining truth. The voice of God opens the gates of endurance and patience. The voice of God opens the gates of splendorous beauty. The voice of God opens the gates of deepest connection. The voice of God opens the gates of presence. And so as we chant together tonight, Kol Adonai, the voice of God, we can think about what voice do we need to hear and what gate do we need opened, and focus on that notion as we sing together. Page 21, Mizmor David.
And since there are a few more Sephardim in the room, I'll do a Sephardic tune. Mizmor David, Havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, Havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, Havu l'Adonai kevod shemo, Ishtachavu l'Adonai be'adrat kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim el hakavod yirim, Adonai al mayim rabim, Kol Adonai b'koach, Kol Adonai behadar, Kol Adonai shover arazim, וישבר אדוני את ארזי הלבנון, וירחידם כמו עקב לבנון, וציון כמו בן רמים. כל אדוני חוצב להבות אש, כל אדוני יכיל מדבר, יכיל אדוני מדבר קדש, כל אדוני יחולל איילות, ויחשוף יערות, ובהיכלו כולו מרכבות. אדוני למבול ישב, וישב אדוני מלך לעולם, אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום, את עמו בשלום.
We turn now to page 23 to welcome the Shabbat bride. We'll sing together the Chadodi. We'll begin with the first two stanzas on page 23 and then turn to page 25 for the final two stanzas.
ושמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה, לך דודי לקרא קלה פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקרא קלה פני שבת נקבלה, לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נשוכה, שבת תחילה לך דודי לקרא קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקרא קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי על יד איש בן פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה וצולה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה שבת שלום שבת שלום ומבורך.
You may be seated. We turn now to page 27 for Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat, the song for the day of Shabbat. And that opening line is discussed a lot in terms of what exactly it means. One of my favorite interpretations is that this is the song which the Shabbat day itself sang. And when we think about it that way, any time that we come together to utter and to sing these words, we are singing a song as old as time itself. And so we join together now on page 27 to sing with the Shabbat day, Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון טוב להודות לאדוני להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות טוב להודות לאדוני עלי עשור ולנבל עלי היגיון וכינור כי שימחתני אדוני בפעוליך במעשה ידיך רנן טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון טוב להודות לאדוני טוב להודות לאדוני עושי לו לפרע רשעים אתה ותן בשורי בקים עלי מרעים תשמענה אוזני צדיק אתה אמר יפרח כארז בלבנון יזכה שטוב בסבע דשנים ורעננים היו להגיד כי ישר אדוני צורי ולא המלטה בו אדוני מלך גאות לבש. עדותיך לנו מאוד לבית חלב הקודש אדוני לאורך ימים.
חזק וברוך.
ברכה תהיה. Sorry about the mess over here.
You're great. This is my second favorite time of year. My first favorite time of year by far is Sukkot. There's just nothing that can quite get to what is so magical and wonderful about Sukkot, but this is a pretty close second. And I'm not talking about Pesach, though I do love Pesach, and I'm very much looking forward to it as soon as I can get on the other side of the preparation. But it's really about Chodesh Nisan, the month of Nisan. Because there is something that happens in this month that's not at all related to the holiday, that we can only do one time a year. We can only do it during this month in our tradition. And that is Birkat Ilanot, the blessing that we say over flowering trees. And we just have this little window of time. And it's something about walking outside, and actually the Talmud describes it this way, that one who walks outside and sees flowering trees, this is the blessing that they should say. And I remember when I was living in New York, that's really when it became a very special time for me, because it was like the harshest winters I've ever lived in. I'm from Los Angeles, so when I moved to New York, I had no idea what winter actually was. And when snow really melted, and life was really coming back, and you could appreciate that, and there were these glorious blossoms that you just hadn't seen in months. And somebody in our neighborhood had actually found, I forget which kind of fruit it was, but it was a fruit flowering tree, and they had actually tied a sign around the tree that contained Birkat Ilanot. That way, when people walked past it, they didn't need to have a siddur, they didn't need to have a printout, they could just look at the sign and recite the blessing on the tree. And so I was very excited to be able to do Birkat Ilanot just this last week. And I walked out and went on one of my normal evening walks, but of course, because of the time change, it's still light outside, and I found one of the most magnificent flowering cherry blossom trees, right? Because that's what we have here, amongst many other wonderful ones. And I said, now's the moment. I'm gonna recite Birkat Ilanot. And so I took out my siddur, and I began reading the liturgy. And time just slowed down. I always write out what I'm going to say, but I didn't script out this part because I really just want to try as best as I can to describe it in this moment. Because I'm looking at these pink blossoms, these light pink blossoms, and I'm looking at the clouds, and the sun is starting to set, and I'm noticing that it's the same pink on the edges of the clouds. And the clouds are moving in such a way that I can't really tell, am I looking at the wind blowing the surface of the clouds across the sky, or am I catching a glimpse of the rotation of the earth itself? And everything just feels so still. And it's gorgeous, and it's beautiful. I must have stood there for really at the most, couldn't have been more than 2 minutes, but it felt like an eternity had passed. And I recited the bracha, recited the blessing, and I continued on my walk. And immediately, though, I felt kind of guilty because I was engaging in such a deep appreciation of beauty. And I thought to myself, I don't know, isn't that a little self-indulgent? There's a lot going on. There are a lot of difficult things, a lot of difficult realities. Isn't this just kind of an escapism to sort of be in this place of appreciating beauty in this way? But then I thought about what the liturgy of Birkat Ilanot actually says, and I think it teaches us something very, very important, that the appreciation of beauty, when approached in a particular way, is not about escapism, but rather is an act of spiritual audacity. When we look at Birkat Ilanot, there are three parts of the liturgy that really stood out to me. The first is a fascinating line, which is when we set the kavanah, the intention for reciting the bracha, we said, "V'tihiyeh chashuva u'mekubelet eritzuya lefanecha." May this bracha be just of importance, and may it be accepted, and may it be favorable before you. For what purpose? Levarer u'la'alot al yada kol nitzotzei hakedusha. That through this act that we're able to identify and lift up the sparks of holiness, hama'oravim b'tzomeach, that are woven into all of plant life. There's holiness in everything that grows, and may this bracha help us see it, we say. And then we say something really kind of wild. V'chol nefashot ruchot u'neshamot hamagulgalim bo. And also, all of the beings that have been reincarnated into this tree, may I also give them the opportunity to fly up and away to their next life. We say that in the Siddur. This is not like a special Siddur, this is a standard piece of liturgy. But for me, what this was talking about was through the act of seeing and appreciating beauty through this bracha, we were acknowledging a certain interconnectedness with life, of sanctity, of holiness, of lives that have come before us, of lives that will go on after us, all wound up together in this beautiful tree. And then there's the bracha itself, in which we say, "Blessed are you, God, who cares for all of the world, shelo chiser ba'olamo klum, who has not allowed anything to be lacking in this world, uvaravo briot tovot, and has made within this world beautiful creations, ve'ilanot tovim, and beautiful and goodly trees, lehanot behem bnei adam, so all of humanity can enjoy it and appreciate it." So after we recognize that we have this interconnectedness, we are reminded that there is abundance if we are willing to see it. If we are willing to allow it to spread out and make it accessible, there is abundance. And then there are the minhagim that developed around Birkat Ilanot. In Sephardic tradition, it was very common for people to gather a minyan, to come together around a tree, to recite Birkat Ilanot, then to say Kaddish, and then everybody would look around and made sure that everybody had money for tzedakah to give, and then people would disperse and go out and give tzedakah. Reminding us then from a place of recognizing our interconnectedness, recognizing that there is abundance, taking a first step of action of spreading that abundance out, making sure that people who are in need were able to have. And so engaging in any level of this gives us a transcendent moment. Being able to appreciate beauty is not just a self-indulgent act. It isn't a form of escapism. It is a way to fully engage with something that is perhaps more real than the things that we get to experience in a more normal moment. We have that moment of recognizing and being embraced by interconnectedness, by recognizing what there is around us to be able to do something with, and then we do something about it. All in just a little bracha. And so I want to offer and invite people, if they have an opportunity this month, to go and recite that blessing over a flowering tree, to give yourself a moment to be really fully present in that beauty, and let any of what it contains fill you up, and with your more full self, head out again into the world. The idea of appreciating beauty as an act of spiritual audacity is said very, very well by a psychologist by the name of Sarah Monk, and whose words I will conclude with right now. She says, "What really moves me when I observe something beautiful, especially in nature or in the selfless behavior of others, is how this experience makes me feel simultaneously small and insignificant, but also connected in part of a bigger whole. As I look at a beautiful night sky for a fleeting moment, I get a glimpse of what the universe might be about, my part in it, and the potential for good in our world. This sense of meaning has been shown to be a key factor in all of our abilities to flourish. This juxtaposition is apparent to me not only looking up and out, but also looking at the very small patterns of life in nature. The paradox of the very small and its relationship to the whole reflects a balance. How do we balance the dark with the light? How can small changes ripple outwards? How does the self mesh with the family, the community, all humanity? How do humans interact with nature, the world, the galaxy, and time itself? Surprisingly, stopping to appreciate the beauty of a flower can help us engage with these big questions which contribute to well-being, as well as giving us even just a little moment of joy. Shabbat Shalom. Baruch Tiyeh. We continue now on page 39a with the Baruch Hu. I invite you to rise as you're able.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני בורך לעולם ועד.
You may be seated.
ברוך העולם. מעביר יום מביא לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המרהיב הרבים.
Page 40, Ahavat Olam.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת. אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת. תורה 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 ומצוות, חוקים חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. תורה 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 ומצוות, חוקים חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך, נשיח בחוקיך. תורה 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 ומצוות, חוקים חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, והם נגי יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. תורה 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 ומצוות, חוקים חוקים משפטים אותנו לימדת. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני שכבך מעבדיך היו דברים אלה. היה מועתש מלאו עצות הישם לאהבה. ושמתם את דברי אלי. אשר בורתה בני ישראל, מטרים אסורים ציצית, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We turn now to page 44, Mi Chamocha.
ומלכותו מרצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל לחם שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נורא תהילות אוסף אלה מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה זה ליאנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר יפת אדוני את יעקב ויעלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גל ישראל. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום לשלום ועמידנו מלכנו לחיים לחיים ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך 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 ותקננו בעץ הטובה לפניך לפניך והושיענו למען שמך והגן בעדנו יסר מעלינו אויב דבר וחרב ורע ויגון השכיבנו לשלום שלום והסר שטן מלפנינו לפנינו לפנינו ומאחרינו אחרינו 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 ובצל כנפיך תסתירנו 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 כי אל שומרנו 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 ומצילנו אתה כי אל מלך חנון ברחום אתה השכיבנו השכיבנו לשלום שלום ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ושלום אתה יד עולם ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו בכל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
I invite you to rise as we turn to page 46, V'Shamaru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבה וינפש יתגדל ויתקדש יד השם רבה, ועלמא דיברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה, ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. ישמע רבה מברך, לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ותדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמך דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמא ויאמרו אמן.
The Silent Amidah begins on page 47. I invite you to use the words of the Siddur and of your heart and of your own heart for this moment of quiet devotion.
שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום עם רומא, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום עם רומא, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן.
Page 53, Magen Avot.
מגן אבות מדברו מחיים מתים ממאמרו האל הקדוש שאין כמוהו לילה 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 המניח לעמו ביום שבת קודשו כבר רצה להניח להם לפניו נעבור בים ופחד ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד לילה 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 אדון השלום מקדש השבת וברך am I on the wrong spot? מעון הברכות אל ההודעות אדון השלום מקדש השבת וברך שביעי ומניח בקדושה לעמד ושני עונג זכר למעשה וראשית לילה 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 There's a music that's highlighted and it's wrong. So I have to talk to my copyist and sort him out afterwards. And but the line I have is we have a bat mitzvah coming up very soon, and I did that mistake on purpose so she knows
Very good.
that
Very
you can
good.
be human up here.
That's right, absolutely. Thank you, that's a good lesson for me too.
That's a
Thank
good
you.
lesson, right? All right.
We continue Kaddish Shalem, bottom of page 54.
יגדל וקדש שמי רבה, ועלמא דיברה, כאילו תמליך מלכותי, וחיי כל ומכון, וחיי לכל בית ישראל, בהגרה וזמן קריב מרו, אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יברך וישתבח ויפעל ויתרומם, וינשיא ותדל ויתעלה ויתעלל, שמי קדושה בריחו. לאלה מכל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמא אמרו, אמן. תתגבר, סוטהון, ותכל ישראל, קודם אבוהון דבשניה אמרו, אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו, וכל ישראל אמרו, אמן. עושה שלום ממרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, וכל ישראל, וכל יושבי תבל, ואמרו, אמן.
Chazak Baruch. I invite you to rise as we recite Kiddush together. We're going to begin with reciting the poem by Yehuda Halevi, the great rabbi, philosopher, and poet of medieval Spain. And his poem connected to Kiddush, I lift my cup, on the left-hand side of page 55, we say together, I lift my cup to celebrate my love for you and say shalom to you. Shalom, seventh day. How pleasing to me this moment of twilight, ushering in Shabbat, the world's new face beginning tonight. Come, enter this orchard, eat of its fruit, for this is my companion, my friend, my time of quietude. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagefen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'yahava v'ratzonichim lanu, zikron l'maaseh v'reshit, techila l'mikrei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, v'shabbat kodshcha b'yahava v'ratzonichim tanu. Baruch atah
Baruch shemo.
Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
And as we are standing, we'll continue now with Aleinu on page 56.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שמסדרץ. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. We take this moment now to recall and to utter the names of those souls who have passed in the last weeks. Alexander Menashki, Zichrono Livracha, Yoni Weiss, Zichrono Livracha, Georgian Berescott, Zichrono Livracha, Roberto Weiss, Zichrono Livracha, Norton Melnick, Zichrono Livracha, and Vicky Kaufman, Zichrono Livracha. Ruach Adonai Tenichem Began Eden, may God's presence cause them to rest in the Garden of Eden. All those who are observing a yard site or in mourning, please rise as we recite Mourner's Kaddish together on page 58. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shmei Rabbah, be'alma divera kirute v'yamlich machute, be'chayechon u'v'yamechon u'v'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Bagala v'zman kariv, v'imru amen. Ye'ei shmei Rabbah mevarach la'alam olmei almaya, yiparach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'alal shmei d'kudsha b'richu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiram ba'alma v'imru amen. Ye'ei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu, v'akol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom mimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'akol Yisrael, v'akol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. You may be seated. In this time of year where we have coming into Pesach, a number of things happening in the community to be aware of. We have our community second night Seder, which Rabbi Cantor will be leading, so this should be really, really wonderful. And I see a note here especially that there is still space available, so if you would like to attend, please avail yourself of that opportunity, and you can email or call the office. We have Tot Shabbat coming up, that's for ages from newborns all the way to 5-year-olds, April 4th and April 18th. We also have Kiddush Club, which is kindergarten to second grade, happening also on April 4th and 18th. We also have a young adult Passover Seder on Shabbat, April 4th, from 5 to 8 p.m. And also we do have need for volunteers for the community center, the community Seder with JFCS Holocaust survivors and adults with disabilities. There are many other opportunities coming up, but those are just a few to be aware of, ways to connect and to be together in this special time of year. And I think those are all of the announcements.
The next time we'll see each other, we'll be on Passover. Some people will come to morning minyan, but for
That's right.
the majority, it'll be Passover.
And a reminder that in the Torah, it actually says that Nisan, this month, is the new year for the Jewish people. Tishrei, when we celebrate Rosh Hashanah, is the new year for the whole world, including us. But this is our special new year. So in some ways, right, this is its own brand new beginning.
This is the moment.
something we can, yes, something we can also celebrate together. We conclude our tefillah this evening on page 62 with Yigdal.
Decide which one to do.
This would be a hard decision.
יגדל אלוהים חי וישתבח, נמצא ונטל מציאותו, אחד בן יחיד כייחודו, נעלם וגם אין סוף לאחדותו, אין לו דמות הגוף ואינו גוף, לא נערוך אליו קדושתו, קדמו לכל דבר אשר נברא, ראשון בין ראשית לראשיתו. הינו אדון עולם וכל נוצר, יורה גדולתו ומלכותו, שפע נבואתו נתנו אל, אנשי סגולתו ותפארתו. לא קם ישראל כמשה עוד, נביא ומביט אמונתו, תורת אמת נתן לעמו אל, על יד נביאו נאמן ביתו. Param pam pam pararam pararam param pam pam pararam pararam param pam pam pararam pararam param pam pam param pam pam pararam pararam param pam pam pararam pararam param pam pam pararam pararam param pam pam לא יחל יפעל ולא ימיר דתו לעולמים לזולתו צופה ויודע סתרנו מביט לסוף דבר בקדמתו גומל לאיש חסד כמפעלו נותן לרשע רע כרשעתו ישלח לקץ ימין משיחנו לפדות בך כקץ ישועתו מתים יחייל ברוב חסדו ברוך עדי עד שם תהילתו מתים יחייל ברוב חסדו ברוך עדי עד שם תהילתו פרם פם פם פררם פררם פרם פם פם פררם פררם פרם פם פם פררם פררם פרם פם פם פרם פם פם פררם פררם פרם פם פם פררם פררם פרם פם פם פררם פררם פרם פם פם. There's no excuse, everybody. פרם פם פם פררם פררם פרם פם פם פררם פררם פרם פם פם פררם פררם פרם פם פם. שבת שלום.
חזק וברוך.
חצי.
אמן. אמן. שבת שלום, שבת שלום, שבת 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 שלום, שבת שלום, שבת שלום, שבת 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 שלום.
This is the last challah you're going to have this week, so go on.
Sorry, Cantor Shivers reminded me there's tomorrow morning. Let's go around. By the way, there's a bat mitzvah tomorrow morning in the main sanctuary. Violet and Aviva Simon will be having their twins, having their bat mitzvah in the main sanctuary tomorrow morning at 9:30. I am the word, not exactly.
It was totally in my head. It's like, come on, guys.
Oh, you didn't miss anything. So tell me what it looks like.
It's stunning. Yes. It's like, and what is her? She does.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, she does. What is she doing?
Shabbat
Yeah,
shalom.
so it's like silk.
It's so
So
I'm so excited.
it turned out, and it matches her, kippah, so very good.
Okay, I gotta get going, but I have a complaint.
Oh, please.
Really nice sermon, except for one thing.
Tell me.
I have hay fever.
Oh, do you really? Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
That's excruciating. That's
That's okay.
excruciating. I'm so
And so far, it hasn't been that bad.
Is there anything that helps, or is it just you just gotta persevere through it?
No,
Yeah,
you just. But,
I know.
I'm Paul Slesson.
I'm April. So good to meet you.
My partner and I, Janice and I, thoroughly enjoy having you here,
Oh, thank you. That's very, very sweet.
except for hay fever.
Except for hay fever. My total disregard for hay fever.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Shabbat shalom. Yeah, sure. Oh, okay. Ooh, that's nice. I feel like we actually haven't been together in a while, so it's really nice.
Last time you would go with Rabbi Steve, am I right?
So, yeah. Because I think the last couple of times that it's fallen out like on the third Friday, so we just started with the Kol Shabbat. So what's the quick for you here? Well, obviously you're doing second Seder.
Right.
Perfect. God bless you.
Thank you, yeah. Because, I mean,
It's also helpful that
right, right, all of that stuff. For me, it's also, I mean, the two biggest parts. Yes,
right? You know,
right. I'm gonna put, that's right, yeah, I'm really on, right, as opposed to, at home you're on, but you're really on,
yeah.
right? And no, I'm just saying, expecting you, and for that, what I was saying, so it's like, I'm like sung out, when I, you do sing at home, you come in the next morning, you sing at home, you're in the next morning, and then the Shabbat, is like, it doesn't stop. And unlike congregant X doing it, I'm expected to sing, right? And I want to sing well. If I sing badly, that's not good. It's all, but I have to put out all this energy. And so I'm getting a lot of help from Emily, which is, I gave her assignments. And I put you down for when, on the seventh day, to do the haftarah.
Oh, thank you.
Right? That makes sense? Okay.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Unless something comes up where it's like, don't you know Rabbi so-and-so? So that's his, right, that sort of thing. But otherwise, I think it makes sense to do that.
You just go up and do the haftarah.
Right,
So,
right.
like, so it's not like, whatever. So if I don't end up doing it, okay.
Right.
It's fine.
Right, exactly. I hear you. Yes. I know. It's got lighter and lighter through the service. Yes.
You were helping out. Lightening the load.
You know, before COVID, she always came with me, and before COVID, she kept coming in. We had these, I had these Friday nights where I had like a band, and I know these Friday nights is also what I had. It was the Boom Shabbat, it was like a trio, and we had the couches, yeah, and we had couches, and she would sit next to me, and she'd like sing with me, and she would take a tambourine and all that. She was on beat.
Do you have a favorite that you would sing?
You don't remember anymore? But if you have a favorite now, do you like?
Yeah, do you have a favorite?
Speak to the microphone. No. You know, I think it's that you like. Oh, Jose Shalom, maybe that one? Okay, all right. Fine. Thank you very much.
By the way, I am big fans of the good food.
Yeah.
So, right, so it's going to be a busy one, yeah.
So, but yeah, first nights with us, we have,
Okay, so I also wanted to ask you, so Friday morning, right, second day, Friday night happens, do we check the audience?
yeah, we do, but Rabbi Eve will lead it.
Oh, okay, I see, yeah.
So I'll be, I would just, but Rabbi Eve is going to lead on her own, because it's like, it starts just I'll lead, you know,
Yeah.
pretty, I think it's a very, it's
I
short.
just wanted to make sure I was in my
Well, there's a
So
certain,
the morning,
we could check
so
this.
the morning when you and I will be.
Saturday, Shabbat?
On
Or
second
second
day.
day, yes, second day and seventh day.
Right.
Correct.
But
So-
that Friday night, I don't need to.
No.
I mean, I may come in.
Right, but it's not, you're not on, right? What, Nancy? I don't think so.
I think
No, no,
it's
schedule,
at
schedule, yeah, she's
at her house.
she's still
Yeah,
hosting
for
for
the-
Friday.
Yeah, for
Right.
Fridays.
Matan is, but she's on at home and will be here tomorrow with, no. Yes, she's here tomorrow for the, mitzvah. I was gonna say that. So yeah, so first night is us, we have two families coming over to our house who are French speakers, which is nice, and what? Sure.
You're going to say your guests are going to be in person.
First night, and it's, they're French speakers, which is nice. There's a, yeah, one's Moroccan. What? And, one family, I'll tell you, so, what can I say about it? So, that way has my stamp on it, the way I, and I'm not gonna do the Haggadah exactly the way I would want to, because I would do everything, and and there are lots of kids, so,
You've also had to.
yeah, and this is the culture we're in.
It's
I-
condensed.
Yes, I do more than I might do of the text than I'm going to do the second night. Yeah, so I'm still, I'm still going to do it.
So do you do video?
Yeah, and I'll be doing that second night of Pesach too.
Oh, that's great.
And
That
there's,
is actually something I think everybody should do.
Shit, it's so nice. And there's a great article that I found by Buskila
Yes, he wrote it, yes, in the Jewish
about,
Journal, right? In the-
yes,
yeah,
that
yeah.
explains that it's just actually the Shekhinah coming. I was like, I'm going to use that. That's well expressed, and whether that was intentional or not, it makes sense, and I'm going to.
You have a boy.
Yeah, yes. He said, and yes, and
Yishov Alismach.
that's right. And so I'll be doing that. And I'll bring in, I'm infusing it with a lot of Sephardic, as much as I can Sephardic stuff. I'm also doing, there's a Judeo-Arabic tradition that I grew up with, but I never sang it until more recently, where at Yachatz, there's a Judeo-Arabic tune, which is about the splitting of whatever, of the sea and all that. And, yeah, so it's interesting. Yeah, so, just let them know.
Because it makes it a moment. It really
Makes
makes
it
it a moment.
yes.
Otherwise, it's just like,
Yeah, it makes it a moment, exactly. So I want to do a few of those, and this Haggadah we're doing, it's PJ Library. So it's almost all English. Like, I know there's like what's not there is Bechol Dor Vador Chayav Adam Levot, that's out.
interesting.
So is, yeah, and so is on that same note, yeah, but even more to me, it's She'amda, Behi She'amda is out. That's not there at all. So I'm putting that in the supplement because I'm like, that the publication was 2021. Like, I wonder if it were after 2022, would they put it in? Still not.
It's like friends, I don't know, like,
Yeah, like this is important. And I didn't ask you about yours, but
no, it's actually my virgin.
yeah, you had invitees that self-invitees. So, okay. There's one thing I don't remember when. Tell me about this. Maybe I was thinking.
Have you seen the one from Safari Temple, the Rabbi Muskila?
Yeah. Oh, no.
I'm going to bring it to you. I have-
Mark Angel,
right,
the red red cover.
Yeah, but
I-
Muskila did one that has all of the art of Raphael Abekassis, Moroccan Israeli artist. And so the illustrations are beautiful, the commentary is good.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, I'll bring it to you with that.
Oh, the tangent is so when I was in Vegas, and if I tell the story, please stop me. When I was in Vegas, at one point, there were lots of teens there, right? That's the majority of the people are teens. So let me talk, they sing it, and I'm getting this elevator at one point, and I hear, the French. Okay, and I look at, yeah, and this is not, you don't hear too often there. And I look at her lanyard and it says Azulay, or Azulay in Israel. And I said, Azulay, Azulay. This is all in the elevator, so this is fast. And yeah, and
That's Mina Shaban.
Mina Shaman. So Azulay, I said, and then you're from, it was in French, you're from Montreal. I'm from Montreal. So I'm from Montreal. Oh, really? Did you go to Mamonide? Which is where most of the Moroccans go to there. Although, so me and talk. And I said, my mother taught there. What's her name? She says. And I said, Madame Biton. And she says, my mother had Madame Biton as a teacher. I said, really? What's her name? And my mother has had hundreds of students. What are the chances? And of course,
throughout